everybody, CW here. This is going to be a Rumble only. I think maybe I'll pull excerpts of this and put them on YouTube. But if you want to see this whole video, you got to check it out over on Rumble. So take a scoot over there. Otherwise, you're just going to see highlights and abbreviated, YouTube friendly, so nobody gets hurt with me loading these bullets here on my bench when you're sitting home in your easy chairs or car seats watching. So stand by. Okay, so 243. We have a bunch of brass here that's totally prepped. And I mean totally. This has been washed, cleaned, sized, annealed, neck turned, trimmed for length, and primed. So there we go, 243 Remington. Now these are going to be Remington cases. We've got some Winchester cases back here that I maybe I'll do burgers in those. These are going to be these MOCK, these mock 243s that he sent us. Thank you, sir. And we're going to load these up with Stay-Ball 6.5. My buddy got this for me a couple of years ago. Knows I was looking for it. 321 bought this powder. So just over a year ago, just over 2 years ago. And I haven't used it yet. I've been wanting to, I bought it for the 6506. 6.5, thinking that that's going to be where it's going to be. But come to learn that it may not be the perfect powder for that. But it'll probably work. It may not be the perfect powder here. It said it doesn't get top velocities. Now, I'm not after top velocities. I want accuracy. But we still want to get velocity that we should get. So, with a 105 grain bullet from a 22-inch barrel, we should be right at 29. So I hope that we can get there. But if we can get high 28s, I'll probably be happy. But of course, we got to get that with, real tiny groups. We want touching bullet holes, preferably under an inch, preferably under that. But if I can get nice round groups of an inch or under, I'll be happy. If I can get touching, 3/4 inch, I'll be thrilled. Again, this is just a Savage 110. Not a super fancy gun, not a super expensive gun. This was a Kmart Walmart special. We've got a 6-18. You saw me mount it. You saw the MOA, the 20 MOA rail we put on it. You saw us glass bed this, and you saw us pillar bed it. You saw the big bolt knob go on, the new stock. So here we are on to the reloading part of it. So let's get going. We know our length, 2710, I believe. Let's see here. Where's our dies? Here's our dies. Here's our dies. We're going to be using a Forester seating die. This is a bench rest seating die. Basically, it's a little bit truer. It holds the whole case. The whole case fits in this little collar, and then this whole thing slides up inside. So it perfectly holds and aligns the case. It's like a chamber. It's like it's cut for your rifle's chamber. It's perfectly fit to that 243. It actually says 243 right on it. And then you adjust the overall length here. As this pushes up in, it pushes your bullet down in to where you want it. And I think that's our bullet right there. That's probably the 107. That's probably the 107 grain burger. And it looks dumpy. It looks short. But I believe 2710, yeah. 2714. So I must have set this up to be a few thousandths off the rifling, which is what I like for targeting accurate loads. I like to be under 10 thousandths off the rifling. So there we go. This is a piece of military brass, which is what I like to use for my dummies. It's just a little bit more durable. All right, so we've got a match shell holder from Redding. We've got a RCBS sizing die, we're already sized, and we got an RCBS cedar die, which we have to set. But we're not going to use that. We're going to use the Forester. So that's why this isn't set. This is all set. So there we go. Here's some old loads that I've loaded in the past. So let's get this set up on the press over here. We're going to do that on the Lyman American 8. First, let's set up our Uniflow to dump our first charge, which is going to be 39 grains. Now this data is what Mark sent me that he got off of the Hodgdon site, which is who's making the Winchester powder. And they had it started with I think it was 42 grains as a max. Pretty sure it's 42 grains as a max. So we're going to have 39, 39 and a half, 40, 40 and a half, 41, 41 and a half, 42, and 42 and a half with 4 shells, which are left over. I didn't have a full set of casings here, but that's all right because those 4 are over max. So I don't mind having less because, you know, we may not even make it that far. We may find pressures, you know, here at 40, 41 and a half and stop. We'll have to pull those. But if we don't, we'll be able to step another half a grain or so over book max and see if they're okay. But only if it's safe when we get there. So we're gonna be reading this on the OHAS. What is the number of this press? 1010? Where is the cover? Yes, OHAS 1005. Let's see. Here's the cover for the 1005. OHAS 1005. It's an oldie but a goodie. And as you all know or should know by now, I prefer a mechanical beam scale. So let's crack open this new can of powder. Oh, it peeled right off. And it's a ball powder, so it ought to flow and meter really nice. We're going to make sure sorry you can't see me. I'm just making sure that our powder measure is empty. Let's turn some lights on. Let's dump some powder in our powder measure. I'm going to do about a half a hopper. And this has a baffle in it, so we get a little bit better. Clean up our mess here. We got a little bit of a mess on the bench today. We got a couple calibers of stuff going on. So this was 458, 2-inch. I'm going to put that aside. We've got some 375s that I finished. We got some 765s that we were working on before. Let's get all those out of the way. An old cell phone over here that I use for music. We got some Allen wrenches which go with this. Let's put this over here. It's out of our way. There's some ink pens for notes. Okay, there's our powder. We want to keep that next to the powder measure so we know what's in our powder measure. Here's our bullets. We're not going to use these, so we'll set these aside. These are bullets we're going to use. There's the cover. Here's new brass. Okay, there's our work surface cleaned off. So let's get a tin from the powder measure. I always throw away the first one. Just toss it away. And you always want to tap the same number. Be consistent. Everything we're reloading is consistency. Okay, we're just testing here and we're light. So let's get some more powder. We'll turn it off 1 full turn. And this is a micron or micrometer adjusted large tumbler that I have on this one. Again, we're going to throw away the first one. The reason I throw away that first powder charge is because as you turn it, it's like you're opening it up. You open it up, you're letting more powder come in. Well, that powder didn't come in the same way that all the rest of the powder came in. Follow me? When you work that handle, you're cutting off the powder supply and you're dumping the powder out and you're putting it back down, you're letting the powder run back in. So when you turn that dial, you're letting the powder run in because you're turning it down. So you're not getting the same volume to meter that powder, so it's going to be inconsistent. Same as if you screwed it in. If you screwed it in and pushed the powder out of the drum and back into the hopper, it wouldn't be as consistent as what falls in the hopper. So always throw away that first powder measure, first powder amount. Okay, so 1 full revolution. Now we are at least a few grains heavy. So we're in between those. So we're going to dump this back in the hopper, and we're going to go back half. So in this case, it's 25. So let's dump the powder. A couple taps, throw it back in the hopper. Get another charge of powder. A couple of more taps, and weigh this one. We are 2/10 light. So we're going to give it about 2/10 on our meter over here. It's approximate, but it should be pretty close. Again, a couple of taps, throw away our first charge, our first dumped charge. Dump it in there. There's our powder. Back on the scale. And we are still, we're about 1/10 of a grain light. So I know that adjustment I did, I can double to get what we need. Dump our first one, we threw it back in the hopper. Extra tap there, but that's okay. Let's see what we get there for a charge. And we are 1/10 heavy. It goes that way sometimes. It goes that way sometimes. Don't be so critical. If this wasn't a ball powder, I would be stopping below what I want, and I'd be using a trickler. Here's a powder trickler to trickle up to the exact weight I want. But being this is a ball powder, I know we're spot on. We're perfect. I know that this powder measure is going to dump within probably a 1/4 of a tenth of the same charge every time, as long as I'm consistent with my dumping. Okay, so we're just going to go through and charge these, and I'm going to weigh the first few just to confirm for myself that everything is on, and then we're going to let it go. So there we go, and we are spot perfect, dead on. I should be using a better funnel than this. Let's switch over to our other funnel. I think I've got a proper 243 funnel. One more powder charge. Okay, that's done for that one. So let's see if I'm pretty sure I do. I should have most of them. Let's see, there's a 22, there's a 30. Yeah, there's a 6mm. Let's use a proper powder measure. A little bit fancier. A little bit of, thought it was powder that was on there, but it's brass. I don't know who makes these. I should know. I just don't remember where I got these from. Okay, now we are going to go to 39.5 grains. So we're going to change our powder measure up a 1/2 grain. And we're going to adjust our powder measure. Now we know from the last measurements, we know we're going to give this about 1/4 of a turn. And it should be in the ballpark of being what we want. Throw back the first one. We got the second one. Let's see what we got here. We're going to be heavy, a little bit heavy-handed. We'll back it off about 5/10, which is just a number on the gradation, but we'll see what it equates to. And it equates to about a 1/2 light. But that's good enough for me. That's not going to make enough of a difference to be a problem. We'll just do another one and check it. Right, just about a 1/2. So now I know we're good, and we'll do it again. Just charge this the rest of the way. So now you've seen how I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this the rest of the way across, all the way up to 42 grains. So it's going to be boring. So I'm just going to put you in speedy mode, and you can watch me do this in just a few seconds instead of the 10 or 15 minutes that it's going to take me. So stand by. And there is the last one. 42.5 or 2.5 grains. Okay, so now it's really critical. You keep your head about you. You keep thinking about what you're doing. You don't get distracted, because we've got all different charges in all of these cases, and we need to remember what they are. Okay? We don't want to screw up. So we got 39, 39.5, 40, 40.5, 41, 41.5, 42, 42.5. We're going to charge them with these bullets. We got to get our dies set up. Let me put you on pause, move you over to the turret press, start up again. Stand by.